Okay, hello everyone, welcome to another day of casting Alchemy League Season 6. I'm glad to see you all here, and I hope you enjoy what we have in store for you. So, let's just take a look at which sets we're going to be casting today. As I mentioned on the announcement, they're both going to be from round 1, and they both were played on the previous patch. So once we're finished with this, there will be no longer any games from round 1 to cast, and we will not have to worry about a new patch breaking the regs and whatnot. So that's pretty good. Hello Rosa, hello N.O.P.E, welcome to the stream. So as you can see on screen, the first set we're going to be casting is N.O.P.E, who is in chat, against Nutty. Now, I believe that I've already casted a game from Nutty. I don't think I've casted a game from N.O.P.E yet this season, although I've casted him before because he played in the previous seasons of the tournament as well. And I think he's been with us since Season 3. So, before looking at the drafts, let's take a look at the players. So, N.O.P.E, player from India. He's around 1300 at the moment. And as I said, he has already played in the tournament, so he's going to be a little bit experienced when it comes to custom maps. Nutty, on the other hand, player from Norway. He is around 1100 elo-wise, so slightly lower than N.O.P.E. We'll see once we jump into games if there was any handicap involved, though I don't think there's going to be. And I think it is his first time playing in the Alchemy League. So we'll see how he will fare on custom maps. Oh, the second game ended. Okay, just 20 minutes before the patch dropped. Okay, so you barely managed to play this in the previous patch without the new units and the craziness that they brought. Okay. Alright, so these were the players. Let's look at the draft. So, since this was played in round 1, the map for game 1 is going to be Krorina, which we have already seen a couple of times on the channel. And then, for game 2, as you can see, the players chose to leave Lagoon Forest open. So that's going to be our second map of the day. As for civs, as always, we have 5 random bans done by the bot. So Mongols, Koreans, Aztecs, Bulgarians, and Incas were banned. Seeing Mongols and Koreans here is nice. 2 very strong civs out of the way. N.O.P.E proceeded to ban Japanese and Magyars, and sniped Hindustanis from Nutty. N.O.P was then left with Armenians, Spanish, and Sicilians. Nutty, on the other hand, he banned Byzantines and Khmer, and sniped N.O.P.'s Georgians. And he was left himself with Romans, Lithuanians, and Chinese. So overall, pretty strong draft from both players. Spanish, we've seen them a couple of times on Krorina, but I've seen them on Lagoon Forest as well, so good pick for both. Armenians and Sicilians, they're strong civs, but you have to play them in a different way than, let's say, how you normally play civs, because they do not have particularly good archers, for example, or unique units. Well, I mean, the Sicilians have a pretty strong unique unit, but it plays out a little bit different than other unique units. So I'm curious to see if N.O.P is going to be playing Sicilians, because I would like to see them in action. As for Nutty, strong civs overall, right? Romans, Lithuanians, and Chinese, you can play the civs like the standard way, just knight or archer play. Romans, they do have that chance to go for the Scorpion spam if they want to, and Lithuanians, they can do a pretty good monk rush. But aside from that, overall, you can play them normally. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me jump straight into the first game and see what they have for us. Okay, so starting off, we have N.O.P.E here in teal, playing as the Sicilians. And then in yellow, we have Nutty playing as the Chinese. Now, quick reminder that Carolina, you start with extra villagers to begin with. So you start with 6 instead of 3. But Chinese, they start with an additional 3 villagers. So pretty strong start from the Chinese. And Nutty, as you can see, he's already going for the berries, getting loom. He has 34 seconds of idle TC, which is, I would say, it's still fine with Chinese. If he goes over that, then the start is not the greatest. Yeah, and idle TC is rising, but I mean, it's okay. Chinese are a tricky civ to play the start with, but he should then be able to do well in the long run. And as we see, he tried to go for the lumber camp here, but because of the map generation, you sometimes have these rocks on your wood line, which make it awkward to get wood. So he just thought to himself, oh, like, actually, let's go this way. It's also in the back, so it's easier to defend, ideally. So that was Nutty's start. Let's see how N.O.P.E is faring. So just 1 second of idle to see. It can happen, especially when you're taking the boar. You might get distracted for a second. Getting the boar. Basically no hits on the Vil, which is nice. He's got an easier to access woodline here compared to Nutty, but it's on the front, so he will have to think about that. Although I don't think we're going to be seeing a tower rush from the Chinese. His second woodline, I mean, if he deletes the walls, he can easily take it. He's going for the mill. That's good to see. Does he know about that boar? Ooh, he doesn't know about the boar. I mean, the boar is going to, yeah, it's going to come into view. So he should be able to get it eventually. So, speaking of the map, as we've said the other times, these golds, they may seem inaccessible unless you destroy the walls, but you can take control of these towers. They work as monuments, so the moment you bring a unit close to them, you will take control of it. As you can see from here, N.O.P.E took control of this tower. And so once you have control of the tower, you can jump in and hop out on the other side. So, okay, so there was a pause because N.O.P.E was having issues with the audio. So they basically function as quote-unquote gates to access this gold. Some generations can be awkward, like you see here. N.O.P.E took control of this tower, but because the path is blocked by the gold, he's not going to be able to jump out that side. She might not be able to jump out this side as well, because walls, they too tend to, even in a diagonal, they tend to block the Vils from jumping out. It didn't used to be that way. You used to be able to do that. Like if you built a tower here, I mean, never mind there's a wall behind that, but let's say that piece of wall was not there. If you build a tower here, you can jump out on that side. That's no longer the case, because it made it a little bit too exploitable on maps like Arena. Although, if you have, let's say, a piece of wall here, and a house here, or any other building, you are able to jump. So, do keep that in mind if you're trying to do the tower hop trick from time to time. But for example, N.O.P.E should be able to jump out on this side. He doesn't know about that gold, but I mean, you see this, you see nothing here, you should be assuming that there's something over here, right? Because you know these walls, they tend to spawn all over the map. So he's going up to feudal. Does he have a barracks? No barracks, but a lot of wood, so I'm curious to see what he's going to be doing. Okay, he's taking the deer. Is this going to be a fast feudal into boom from the Sicilians? You do get extra food thanks to your farming upgrade. So generally speaking, horse collar will give you plus 75 food on your farms. For the Sicilians, that's doubled, and that applies to all of their farming upgrades. So it does make sense that Sicilians might want to get the upgrade as fast as possible. Oh. Market and blacksmith. Oh, is this a you put in rush with the sergeants? Hey Leopard, welcome to the stream. We are casting Alchemy League Season 6. It is a tournament played on custom maps. And this is game 1 of this set, N.O.P.E against Nutty. It is going to be a player 2. Because that's the format of the tournament. And we see N.O.P.E attempting a fast castle. He's going to be able to. He sold all of his stone. So he's not going to be able to drop dungeons or TCs the moment he gets up unless he goes to stone right now. And okay, he's going for another mill on those berries. Nutty, on the other hand, just dropping farms. He's almost feudal. He's going for somewhat of a fast castle himself, right? Because he's on gold. But it is quite late. And his resources are not looking the best. Oh, he's going for archers. Okay, so archers are interesting on this map because, as we mentioned, you can drop your villagers on the other side of the walls. So that's going to keep them safe from, say, scouts. But archers can still range them from the outside. And yes, you can jump back into the towers for protection. But due to the nature of the towers, if, let's say you have 3 vills inside, right? So you jump into the tower, you no longer have any units close to the tower. They're inside, but they're not outside. So your opponent can take control of the tower. And if it does, your villagers will be ejected, which will leave them exposed to your opponent's units. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, N.O.P.E going for stone now. Okay, he's dropping a dungeon on his stone. And he's getting the farming upgrade, but I don't think this is going to be... Okay, he's selling food, so there's probably going to be sergeants. Nutty, he has a couple of archers on the field. He's going to be able to click up to Castle Age any moment now. But he is idling his TC. Okay, and we have sergeants. So, sergeants, this is the version from before the new patch. So, as you can see, they have 3 melee armor and 3 pierce armor. With the new patch, the pierce armor was reduced a little bit. I think they now have 2 in Castle Age. But 4 melee armor. So, they're even better against knights. But they're not as good as against archers. And quick reminder that this unit can just build towers, or rather they can build other dungeons from which you can train other sergeants. So if you're not careful, you're going to have your opponent snowball on you quite quickly. These archers, they still have no fletching, so they're going to deal 1 damage to the sergeants. And sergeants, when they're building towers, even if you attack them, they will not run away from the foundation. Which is way better than what villagers do, right? Because let's say you start building a tower here with 5 villagers. If your opponent attacks the villagers, they will automatically run away from the foundation. As you can see, sergeants do not do that, and they barely take any damage. And there's already 5 of them here. 1 is going to go down. But that's still fine for N.O.P.E. Also, N.O.P.E is going to be able to drop another dungeon any moment now. Which is going to be annoying, but at the same time, Yes, you have a dungeon on your face. That's annoying, for sure. But sergeants can only build dungeons, right? They cannot build a siege workshop. So unless you see a villager coming forward from N.O.P.E, this is going to be more of an annoyance rather than a proper push, because he's not going to be able to take down your TC or your buildings in general. For that, he would have to build many more dungeons, make more sergeants, maybe get upgrades. Yeah, as you can see, the sergeants barely have any upgrades, so they still die to the TCs. And we have a ram from Nutty. I'm not sure I agree with that choice. Taking down dungeons with rams is tricky because you have to worry about the sergeants coming out and destroying the ram. So for the time being, Nutty under a lot of pressure. Okay, he switched to mangonels. He probably realized. And so, as I was saying, Nutty under a bit of pressure, but he's ahead in rest collected, despite the fact he's behind in villagers. And behind this, N.O.P.E. Oh, actually has a pretty decent eco. Yeah, and he jumped into the tower to go on the other side. So I was about to say N.O.P.E. was a little bit all in behind this, because I saw him sell food to get his sergeants. But he played this the smart way. So he made 4 sergeants, he went forward, dropped a dungeon, and momentarily stopped making units, so that he could use his resources to drop more eco, and naturally have the resources to make more sergeants afterwards. So that was smart. Yeah, and N.O.P.E. takes the game 1. Sergeants, they're just going to be able to kill the mangonels and take it from there. Maybe Nutty should have... Maybe he was a little bit too hasty to go for the siege workshop and the siege. Because as I mentioned, these are just dungeons. They're not going to be able to take down your TC. Yes, they're going to be pushing your villas away from resources, which is annoying, granted. But maybe the right call here is to not make a siege workshop for the time being. You maybe get crossbow and maybe 1 or 2 monks. And if you do that, you should be able to push back the sergeants. And if you push back the sergeants, then you do not have to worry about more dungeons being built. And if you have a couple of monks and maybe, let's say, 6 crossbows, then you suddenly have something to protect your mangonels with. Because you're not going to be able to protect your mangonels with villagers or feudal age archers against the sergeants. So maybe that's not his mistake. But again, it's the kind of push that makes you feel weird, because it's not something you usually see in tournaments or on the ladder. So you not always have the presence of mind to be able to make the correct decisions. So it's understandable. I'm not trying to criticize too much the guy. And of course, I have a bird view, and I know everything about the map, so I can make those kind of decisions more clearly from my perspective. Because as you can see, Nutty, yeah, N.O.P.E. was now catching up in rest collected, but there was a moment where Nutty was ahead by 500, maybe even 1k. As I said, despite having less fills. So if he just takes a deep breath and tries to repel this in a rational way, thanks to the Chinese eco, he should be able to catch up with his opponent and maybe even do a counter-attack. Yeah, uptime is better for N.O.P.E. And APM is quite similar. Okay. That was game 1. Let me load game 2 and we'll jump into that one, which is going to be on Lagoon Forest. And here we are. Alrighty. So, Lagoon Forest. As you can see, this map, it is divided in different sections by these rivers and these small lakes, which are walled off by the woodlines. As you can see, there is fish and there is oysters in those lakes, but to get there, you will have to cut through the woodlines. So potentially you can do a fish boom, but not as quickly as you would on, let's say, Black Forest, despite this map looking a lot like Black Forest in many ways. From the games we've seen, people do tend to wall off these sections, which are pretty small, so you don't have to invest too much into doing that, but at the same time, some of those are quite far away from your TC. So, for example, here N.O.P.E in the teal with their minions, he could probably easily wall off this and maybe this. No, let's say, I think this one is quite easy to wall off, and it's quite close to the TC. This is even easier because it's in even smaller space, but it's farther away from the TC. So if you start getting pressured here, it will take you a moment to get there with villagers to wall behind. Same in this position, and this one, and this, and especially this. So walling can work, but as we've seen from the previous sets I casted on this map, an aggressive approach can work as well. Now, speaking of civs, we have, as we said, we have our minions from N.O.P.E, which is an interesting choice for a quote-unquote Black Forest style map, because normally you see civs with good siege, bomber cannons, monks, that kind of stuff on Black Forest, and Armenians don't really have any of those. I mean, they have good monks, so he could probably pull off a decent smosh in Castle Age, if that's what he's going for. But aside from that, not too many things to get excited about Armenians on this map, although there is something. So one other bonus from the Armenians is that their economic upgrades, right, the one they research at the mule cart, which doubles as a lumber camp and the mining camp, they are more effective. So from feudal onward, you're going to be able to cut through the woodlines way faster than other civilizations. It's actually an insane economic bonus. And once you get to Castle Age, you have a unique tech, which is Solution Fleet, which will give your Dromons and your War Galley line +1 range. And it will also increase the blast radius of your demolition ships. As for the Dromons, which I just mentioned, they are a naval unit which is unique to the Armenians, the Byzantines, the Goths, the Huns, and the Romans. So Romans have that option as well. And it basically doubles as a... It's basically a mid-ground between a cannon galleon and a mangonel. So it does function as your replacement for the cannon galleon as an anti-building ship, but it's not as good as a cannon galleon against buildings. But it's way better against ships, so it kind of plays both roles. And as I mentioned, Armenians will get... Ooh, nice, getting the scout from his opponent. Armenians, they do lack siege engineers, which gives Dromons +1 range. But they get +1 range anyway, thanks to the unique tag. So, if you take into consideration the faster wood chopping, N.O.P.E could be thinking about, well, let's get to the water, build docks, and then we take map control thanks to, you know, water control. Which is going to take a while because, yes, you would have to, say, chop through here, get your ships out, and then you have to chop through here, get your ships out, and so on and so forth. You could do that. You could also go up to Imperial, get Onager, cut the trees you need to build a dock, and then get your Dromons and your navy out. You could do that. Granted, Romans, they could do something similar. Right? They do get siege engineers, so their Dromons are going to have the same range as the Armenians. And they also have +1 armor compared to other ships. Okay, so N.O.P.E up to feudal. He's on gold, he's on wood. Okay, there's the archery range. And Nutty is open. Nutty is open. He lost his scout, so he doesn't know what his opponent is up to. He didn't see the barracks. He might be able to scout the archery range with the pig, unless it gets converted by a villager before it gets there. And he is going... He's just booming. Just boom it, and he's going to get caught by surprise here. Okay, we have a spear from N.O.P.E. Probably expecting scouts from his opponent, since Nutty went fast feudal as well. Yeah, and there's the stable. I would like to see this spear go forward. So Armenians, I mean, spearmen, to begin with, they have a decent line of sight for an infantry unit. And their minions, they have a team bonus, which gives their infantry units +2 line of sight. So going this way with the spear might be nice to see what your opponent is doing. Okay, and Nutty is now going to stonewall behind this. He might be able to get it up because N.O.P.E is waiting for his units. He's double archery range. So this is weird. Building an archery range here and one here. What does he know about the map? Okay, he doesn't know about this gap. So doesn't know he would have to go all the way around here like this to get to his opponent's base. And this is the quickest way for him to get to his opponent's base. Although Nutty is walling that off. So you need to go forward now. And if you're afraid of scouts, maybe hitting your archers before you get fletching, just send a spear with them. Just go forward for the time being. Okay, and Nutty is going to be able to wall this off. Barely misses the scouts from Nutty, who is going to find his way inside here, but there is already spears guarding his units, his villagers, sorry. So N.O.P.E is going to be fine, but Nutty, stonewall here, stone gate and buildings here. Yeah, he's walling this side as well, so that's going to be closed as well. And we might see... Let me see. Okay, so he knows about this and this. If he feels brave, he could maybe try walling this. It would secure this stone and this gold instead of walling here. Yeah, but N.O.P.E's archers are coming that way. Scouts from Nutty trying to kill some bills, but they're not going to be able to because there are spears and the villagers, they fought back. If Nutty's unit control is good. He might be able to snipe that Wickville. He's going to run underneath the TC. N.O.P.E is not watching because he's... Yeah, he's probably busy looking at his archers. Ooh, Nutty doesn't know about that. So this could do some real damage. There are some idle vills here, and I think... Yeah, Nutty is busy just microing his scouts. So if N.O.P.E comes forward... Let's say you go forward, you do not attack, you wait for your archers to be around this area, and then you start attacking, or you go directly to the wood line. You might be able to get some decent vill kills. It's 6 archers, you might be able to get at least 2 vill kills. Just 1 sec, need to take care of a bot in chat. There we go. I'm sorry about that. Back to the game. Okay, so N.O.P.E showed his archers too early. And now Nutty is just going to be able to wall this off. Drop a house here, maybe 1 here and 1 here, and then your wall to your TC. And your woodline is going to be fine. Okay, Nutty is also up to castle. He might lose, yeah. 2 vills. That vill is going to go down. That one as well. Okay. So Nutty, for the time being, he's off that wood. But it's fine, he can take wood from this side. Hey Otter, welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Ooh, and we have more archers coming from N.O.P.E, okay. Okay, we do have a market from Nutty. So potentially Nutty could just... Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong resources. If he abuses the market a little bit, maybe drops like 2 siege workshops, his scorpions are so cheap that he could easily make enough to kill the archers. He's going for a castle instead. I'm not sure I like that. Villagers being a little bit dumb. He's going... Okay, I mean, the castle is going up because it's Romans, so they build faster. Oh, you were sick when you played this. I mean, you had scouts in your base, so it's understandable, right? You have to look back. It's only 2 scouts and you have spears, but if your opponent is careful, he's going to be able to get vill kills. So it's understandable that you want to look back at home instead of microing your archers. Okay, so N.O.P.E is going to lose this force. But it's not the end of the world, right? He's walled at home. He's up to castle. He's got a better eco overall. I mean, it sucks to lose 15 archers or so. Actually, it was 13. No, I don't think he got any kills on the castle. He killed a couple on the woodline earlier. So yeah, it still sucks that you lost your force like that. But he's fine, right? Ahead by 8 vills. He's still making archers. He's walled. He's going to have resources to drop extra TCs if he wants to. He's Armenians, so if knights come knocking at his door, he will have the option of the fortified church and make monks behind that. And he knows, right? He still has lost no villagers. So he should know he is ahead. Yeah, we see the second TC. Crossbow coming in. And now it becomes a matter of who has the better booming potential. Because sure, Armenians get the crazy bonus on the eco upgrades, but Romans, their villagers work 5% faster on everything. Oh, Nutty walling this side. Does he know? I mean, you don't know, but you should be... You should expect it to get all the way to the edge of the map, right? Although, we casted a game last time where the wool line stopped at about one tile from the edge of the map and you had a passage. It wasn't used, but yeah, it was there. Okay, we have archers. Bot King coming in. These knights might be able to get in before the TC completes. I mean, they'll get in, but they're going to get greeted by crossbows. They will kill a single vill, but they're weak. Yeah, they have to go out. You have to go away. Perfect. Now, if you're N.O.P.E and you know about this, it might be worth it to use a siege tower. Maybe it's just me. I have a particular love for siege towers. But I would like to see that. So here's the plan. You send more vills to stone. Okay, there's a university. Probably for ballistics. You send more vills to stone. You get enough to make a castle. You get a siege tower. You drop your archers. You go and do damage to your opponent's eco. Like, your archers go from here to here. And behind the archers you send the vills and you drop a castle here. Boom. Perfect gameplay. Although we have cheaper scorpions from the Romans, so that's not going to be as easy. And Nutty getting close to Imperial. So it's going to be 1 TC play against 4 TC play. So N.O.P.E is going to be staying longer and longer into Castle Age. I mean, nope, you're never know until you try it, so... But yeah, I can understand that people do not automatically think about siege towers, just because of how much siege towers tend to suck, in general. They're pretty amazing if you use them at the right way at the right moment. Otherwise, they're just too much of an investment. I mean, you have to spend 200 wood to get the siege workshop, and then it's another 200 wood and I think 150 gold, something like that, for a siege tower, which is crazy. So you're basically dumping more than 500 resources into a unit which may or may not give you any value. No, Otta, I still haven't. I will have a look at it in the next few days. Okay, so pretty nice eco setup for N.O.P.E behind this. He's on 4 TCs and 1 dock, so it's about as if he was on 5 TCs. Let's say 4.5, because he's no longer producing from this. Makes sense, otherwise you will get oversaturated here. I mean, once the oysters are out, he could maybe drop some fish traps. By that time, the villagers will have finished chopping these wood lines, so it's going to be even smoother for him. And Nutty is staying in Castle Age, dropping now the 2nd TC. He's getting to a crazy number of scorpions. Do we have ballistics in? Not yet. Did he get the unique tech? Not yet. So ballistas will make his scorpions fire 33% faster. So getting it will make your scorpions be even faster than the Celts when it comes to attacking. I mean, Otte, it really depends on which woodline you went to first, right? Because I don't think N.O.P.E had the line of vision to see beyond the woodline when he dropped the milk cart. And so, as he said, well, he saw water and he just docked. It makes sense, right? Even if there is no fish here, it's still 10 extra eco you have on your opponent. So I will agree that maybe getting the food is better. But if you choose between not docking for extra resources and docking, I would dock 100%, despite the fact that you have no food over there. So there's also a little bit of luck in there. Let's say he went for this woodline straight away. This would have been amazing, but he didn't know what was behind the woodline because you do not have that much line of vision in Dark Age on your scout. Okay, so this push got pretty much stopped by Nutty while I was yapping about the dogs. He managed to get a castle up and kill the scorpions. There is still these 4 knights. But that's fine because now N.O.P.E is almost Imperial. So Armenians, they do not get Thumbring, but they do get Arbalester with all upgrades. So it's still fine. Now, if I hope N.O.P.E is not going for the unique unit, because that's overall bad against Romans. The composite bowman is great against cavalry, for example, because it ignores armor. But it dies to scorpions because they have less range. I mean, the elite version with Bracer has the same range of a scorpion without siege engineers. The moment you get siege engineers, the scorpion is going to have more range. Okay, that's sad. Fish going down. Oh, I didn't know the positions were fixed. Scorpions on the woodline. Luckily, you have the mule card, so you can just pre-position it over here if you want to. And if you notice, still no ballistics for the scorpions, which is nice for N.O.P.E. We have ferreters, so his militia line will have 30 extra HP, as well as his warrior priest, which will always also be healing faster. Yeah, I agree. Armenians here are going to struggle against Romans. Yes, you can go for the Onager if you want to. So Pike Onager is still viable, although you're missing siege engineers. So if your opponent knows how to micro the scorpions properly, they could be able to kill the Onagers with the scorpions. And it's going to be cost effective for them in the long run because they cost, what, 33 gold, something like that. So you cannot go champions because I think despite the unique tech, Armenian champions still lose to the legionnaires. I mean, luckily for N.O.P.E, Nutty is going into Cavalier. Don't think he got... yeah, he didn't get Comitatenses, which will give a charge attack. to his Cavaliers and Militia line. And will make them create faster. Oh, it affects the Centurion as well when it comes to creation time and extra attack. Well, the charge attack. So yeah, we have onagers for N.O.P.E. Given the amount of stone he has, I would like to see just stone wall this. So you don't have to worry about that. Because yeah, you plug the hole with a house. But these are palisades. If your opponent sends like 10 Cavaliers there, and you're focused on the front, by the moment you notice you're being attacked, they are already in. So you need to be careful about that. Oh, hey Jasuki, welcome. Oh, so Otter is saying that the bigger lakes with the fish tend to spawn towards the edges of the map. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because otherwise you would have even more water between the players. So yeah, I can see that being a thing. Okay, Halberdiers got in, but they're missing every upgrade. And that would be because, I mean, N.O.P.E was going for Albarestas most of the game. He has 6 onagers. So, Nutty needs to be careful here. Trebs might go down. Yeah, they will probably go down to N.O.P.'s Trebs. There are no villagers here to repair the... Ooh, that was a good shot. That said, there were a lot of losses for N.O.P.E, but he has resources for days, right? And he has a better eco behind us than Nutty. Alright, Otter, have a good one. Bye-bye. Okay, so N.O.P.E lost the castle, which isn't ideal, but he has enough stone to build another 2. And with these forces, he could easily drop it here if he wanted to. Also, these walls, when there's onagers, they do nothing. Because now N.O.P.E can just be like, oh, I'm going to cut the trees with the onagers and get through. And we're now seeing the strength of the Armenians. So, they do not really have a power unit per se. But, thanks to their amazing eco, they can spam cheap units for days. As we can see, he already has 11 onagers, 7 in queue. And that's because he's mainly going for halberdiers. Yeah, and he's going to cut through. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, N.O.P.E. He has to be careful in managing his halberdiers. They need to be defending the onagers. You don't really care about the halberdiers taking some shots from the scorpions as long as they are in front of the onagers, protecting them from the cavaliers. These traps, I think the moment N.O.P.E cuts this and rolls forward with the halberdiers, traps will come forward and take down the siege workshop and the stables. N.O.P.E just clearing everything to make sure he has space to maneuver. Onagers, they're a little bit clunky to use, so it's understandable. He's going to be taking down every... Oh, just 2. This one is very weak. Talk about overkill. Okay, we still have no unique tech from Nutty, and I called it. I called it. We have a dock after he cut. Let's see a Dromon. Please, N.O.P.E, let's see a Dromon. He's busy microing this, so he might not be thinking too much about it, but I just want to see a Dromon. Let's go! Let's go, I called it. Oh, I'm so happy to see this. Okay, now we need the unique tech. Okay, we do have a castle, and one is going up here. Oh, you do not want to run there with the light cap. A good attack round from N.O.P.E and those units are gone. Nice. Okay, it does a lot of damage. I mean, it's going to take down the tower in, what, 4 hits? Scorpions just getting flattened. Oh, careful, careful. Attack ground here. Oh! Oh my god. Yeah, kill your own units. Who cares? They're cheap. They're replaceable. Oh my god. That must have felt so good for N.O.P.E to do. It's so satisfying. And we have more Dromos coming out. Okay, N.O.P.E is... Well, yeah, he was losing some vills here in the back. It's fine. This castle should go... Okay, no, it's going to get denied. And there's a couple of cavaliers. I mean, you just send a couple of pikes back here and you're fine. Pikes just doing their job. Okay, I think N.O.P.E is a little bit distracted by the raids at home, and that's why he is not. Okay, this sucks. Okay, N.O.P.E now, he needs to replenish his vills. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That's the play. Does he know about the castle? That's the question. He does not. I mean, he will the moment the castle goes up. Okay, he has forward barracks. If the pikes go into range of the castle, that's good for him, because now then he will know about it. Perfect. So now he knows. Yeah, he will have to roll forward with the traps. Ooh, the pikes were not in front of the... Ooh, 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 ooh. No, 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 that's not good. Ooh. Oh. Oh, yikes. Ah. Ouch. That hurts. Okay. Okay, okay. I mean, he's still ahead. So... And look at those resources. He also has map control. Does he know about these 2 golds? Okay, he doesn't know about that one. He knows about this. Still could drop a dock here to get these oysters. He's going to get this castle up, just in case. He knows about this gold. And, I mean, he only has 2k5 gold in the bank. But the only units costing gold that he's making is onagers. He's mostly making pikes, so that's still okay. Okay, Nutty behind this, just going full light cav. He is out of gold access himself. Does he know about... Okay, he doesn't know about this. He could be taking the... I mean, he cannot take that because of the Dromons. He could maybe be sneaky, delete a pace of wall, drop a TC here to get this. That would be nice. N.O.P.E is getting this one, which is great. Okay, so N.O.P.E for the time being, he's just going to... Ooh, that's so clever. That's so clever. So he cut the trees to get there with the Dromons and kill the castle. I love this. Yeah, look at that. Still no unique tech, but who cares? This is great. Lykev trying to get hint here. They will. But, I mean, N.O.P.E has barracks at home. You just put the rally point here and you kill everything. Castle should be able to take care of that. I mean, this is annoying, but it's mostly a desperation raid from Nutty, because now he has nothing at home to stop N.O.P.E advancing. And I mean, what would you rather have in your base? Right? 25 light cabs or 14 onagers with pikes in front. I would settle for the light cab. You can easily deal with this by just, you know, putting your villagers into TCs and castles. You cannot do that against this. And this will take down buildings. This will not. I mean, if these were Hindustani Lightcav or Bulgarians with the unique tech, then maybe you can take down buildings. But yeah, look at the destruction by N.O.P.E. Okay, so if you wanted to, I would love to see an onager cutting here, here, and here. Just for him to get here with the Dromons. I would love to see that. Solution fleet, okay. So extra range incoming for the Dromons. Yeah, all N.O.P.E needs to do, right? He's got 40 pop space. Just queue some halberdiers and let them gather here. Because you have... yeah, I think he's going to do that. You have 50 forward, which is enough to deal with the... to help the onagers. Do not lose the onagers to the castle. Do not lose the onagers to the castle. N.O.P.E. N.O.P.E, please, 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 please. No, 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 N.O.P.E, no. Don't do this to us. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's still 8 onagers. Just cut the trees and get here with the Dromons. Yeah, I mean, if you could cut trees with the Dromons, I think it would be a little bit too unbalanced for maps like Islands. Because then you would suddenly be able to cut your opponent's woodlines with your ships. And on a wood-dependent map like Islands, that would be broken. Okay, so not taking hits at home. I would say it's still fine, right? You have enough resources to put more vills on queue. You have enough stone to just wall this off. Wall here and you're fine. Maybe another one here. And you took a huge chunk of your opponent's eco. So yeah, you lost vills, but you have 5 TCs to make them from. Your opponent is on 1, and you're ahead by 4k score. So yeah, it hurts, but it's manageable. Yeah, look at that. Just a moment ago, N.O.P.E was behind by, what, 10 vills? Because of the losses due to raid. But yeah, now he can just go back on to eco, but we need to wall. Okay, this is great. This is great. Just make another one here, and here, and you're fine. You suddenly do not have to worry about this. And I mean, for the past 20 or so minutes, I mean, in-game minutes, maybe even more than that, the only thing you've seen from your opponent is light cap. So you should realize that, oh, he's out of gold. So he's not going to have any power units. I still have gold. I'm still taking it around the map. Let's take a deep breath. Let's wall off our base. Get our army rolling, and we're fine. Yeah, these halbs will feast on this light cav. Yeah, onagers. Yeah, and honestly, this is N.O.P.'s win condition. Cut trees with onager, take down buildings with the dromons, keep your pikemen in front. There isn't much else you need to do, right? I mean, maybe if Romans had access to bomber cannons, then maybe they would have a way to deal with the dromons. But they do not have bomber cannons, so their best option to deal with the dromons would be onagers. But I think dromons would win that. I really like how N.O.P.E just queued up more bills. It is quite common for a player to be ahead, get raided, and be like, oh, I'm ahead, I don't need to add vills. And then they eventually lose because they didn't add vills behind that, and they couldn't keep the Rico rolling. So that's a good move. That's something that, I mean, even players who are, let's say, 300 elo above N.O.P.E tend to do that mistake, so that's really, really good to see. And he's been patient. Yeah. Okay, now he's walling this. He's... Okay, we have siege buildings from Nutty behind this, but... And he's switching to skirms, which is not ideal, because, yeah, sure, your opponent is on pikes. And these skirms should be able to deal with that, but... You also know your opponent is on onagers. And okay, it's going to be Ram Skirmisher from Nutty. I mean, Romans, they do not get Bracer. So that's an issue. And N.O.P., we saw earlier that he's already tagged into champion. So honestly, you already tagged into champion, you already have the unique tag. You see a single skirm, you just kill champions and you roll your opponent with that. Oh, that's right. Otter calling for a wonder. Yeah, this is played on standard victory, so N.O.P. could have just dropped a wonder here and sit this one out. But no, he's opting to continue cutting the woodlines and get to his opponent's base with the dromons. And honestly, that's more fun in my book. Okay, getting the armor. Yeah, as I thought, onagers lose to the dromons. Okay, N.O.P. is going to drop more siege workshops behind this because he knows about the siege from his opponent. Okay, I know I said champions, but honestly, with this amount of resources, you could even justify spamming pikes into this. Just starve your opponent out. And now, yeah, these halberdiers have access to Nutty's eco. Do we have... Yeah, we have Arson, so he's going to be able to take down TCs with the pikes at this stage. And, I mean, if Nutty had something like 5 siege rams behind this, then maybe you can roll through and take down the castle. But he's trickling capped rams into castles. That's not going to work. Nice shot. Yeah, and the pointy boys are just going to take down stuff. Yeah, and we see the champions. Yeah, champions, I think, are going to be the nail in the coffin, and N.O.P.E, he's probably going to be taking this game 2-0. Granted, Nutty could go back to his original base. There's still some gold over there. But yeah, N.O.P.E takes the game. Flattens some skirmishers with the onagers. Champions, I mean, 6 pierce armor. They're going to be taking 1 damage from skirmishers, and they have 100 HP. So yeah, it's going to take a while to take them down. Alright, that was a very nice game. Very entertaining. I love the way N.O.P.E just cut through the trees, drop a dock, made Dromons, and then continued to cut through woodlines to be able to go around with the ships. That was amazing. Very clever play. I hope we see more of that in the future in the league on this map. Let's take a quick look at statistics. Yeah, Otter, go back and watch that. It was amazing. So he had onagers here. First he cut through his opponent's woodline to get to the base. And then he cut here, dropped to dock. He had Dromons in this spawn taking down buildings. And then once that was done, he cut here, got through with the Dromons. It was amazing. Yeah, more resources collected. That's what, 30k more resources collected? That's insane, especially against Romans. Yeah, Nutty never got above 86 vills, which is probably what killed him in the end. Alright, so that was our first set. Let's go back to the drafting. We are done with the first set, and we have the second one, which is going to be between Qeetsa and YoSoyPacho. So let's take a look at the players. So Qeetsa, he's a player from Mexico. And he's almost 1800, so a highest of 1794, current rating of 1647. I would say he's mid 1700s. I would say he's around that either at the time. And he hasn't played every season of the tournament. I'm sure he played season 3, because I remember having a set against him. I'm not sure if he played any other seasons other than that. He might have played maybe 1 or 2, but I'm not too sure. But overall, he should not be a newcomer when it comes to the custom map tournaments. YoSoyPacho, on the other hand, whose in-game name is Justinian the First 4223, he has played in previous seasons of the tournament. I'm pretty sure he played last season, so season 5. I'm not sure he played season 4, so he might have joined us with season 5. He is a player from Colombia, and as you can see, he is around 1700. So he is going to be slightly behind Qeetsa when it comes to average elo. But overall, this should be... I mean, he is currently sitting at a higher elo than Qeetsa, granted. But this should be an overall pretty balanced set. At least elo-wise. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I just had a cable just being annoying. So, let's take a look at the drafts. So again, this was played in round 1, so we're going to be having Krorina as our map for game 1. And then our map for game 2 is going to be Gugong, which is, incidentally, it was the map for game 1 in round 2, and it is an arena style map. Now, as for civs, we do have our 5 random bands: Malay, Sicilians, Lithuanians, Byzantines, and Tatars. Qeetsa, he banned Spanish and Bengalis, which is understandable. We've seen Spanish be pretty good on Krorina. I think every set above 2k elo we've seen Spanish were involved, although I might be mistaken. I know I casted Spanish a couple of times on Krorina, and they're pretty good on arena style maps as well. And same for Bengalis. Gugong, because you start pretty close, I would say that Siege Monk pushes are kind of incentivized, which probably makes Tech very happy. And Bengalis, they do shine at that, so it's an understandable ban. Now, Qeetsa sniped Burgundians, and he was left with Turks, Italians, and Hindustanis. YoSoyPacho, he banned Poles and Khmer. Khmer, I can see, that can be a strong save on pretty much any map. Poles, I'm a little bit surprised, so maybe he knows something I do not know about this save. But I wouldn't be too worried about Poles on these 2 maps, unless he's worried about a tower rush on Gugong. But then I would have probably banned Teutons instead. Anyway, he proceeded to snipe the Georgians from Qeetsa, which makes sense. And he picked Bohemians, Magyars, and Saracens. Overall, I like both drafts. Bohemians, we're probably going to be seeing them on Gugong. Magyars, they're probably a little bit better on Krorina due to how open it is. Saracens, you can make them work on both, to be honest. Turks and Italians, probably better for Gugong. And Hindustanis are going to be great on Krorina. At least those are my predictions. So, let me load the first game, and we'll jump right into it to see if I'm wrong or if I'm right. So is it Qeetsa against Justinian? Yeah, Krorina. Let me show you Capture Age, and here we are. Okay, we're going to have a Camel War because we have YoSoyPacho in purple playing as the Saracens, and Qeetsa in teal playing as the Hindustanis. So, I actually love both saves for this map because it is a pretty safe map, right? We've seen people just go fast castle because you start with fortified palisades around your base, and then you're kind of safe when you go for the gold access, as long as you just jump into the towers and hop off the other side. And ooh, YoSoyPacho has a great spot in the back of his base. If he gets to feudal, he could just stonewall this and this, and that gold is going to be safe. So that's pretty nice. He also has a couple of wood lines, stones in the back. Yeah, this is a great map generation for YoSoyPacho. Qeetsa, not so lucky. I mean, this one is fine. You can just wall like this, and your opponent will have to go all the way around. But yeah, I think I prefer YoSoyPacho's generation. Anyway, back to my point. Saracens and Hindustanis can both make feudal pressure work because they both have a bonus on your units against buildings. So Saracens, their archers will be dealing more damage to buildings, whereas for Hindustanis, it is their light cav line and later on their camo line. So we could see very aggressive plays from both players, and they could pay off. Especially if they went for something crazy like, you know, you go military and maybe you drop a tower behind that. Like the old Vivi style we used to see on Arabia. And both civs will have a pretty easy time doing that. Saracens, they do not really have an eco bonus, but they can abuse that market to kind of balance out their eco. So doing that kind of weird plays all-in plays can work out. Hindustanis, their villagers cost less, so they're going to be floating more food in the long run. Which is nice if you're sending like a bill forward and so you have basically one idle bill. You can still make stuff work with that. Hey Tech, welcome. You missed the first set, but you got here just in time for the second one. For YoSoyPacho against Qeetsa. And after this one, we are going to be done with the racks from the previous patch, so that's something we will not have to worry about. And back to my point about the towers, we've seen, I think it was Johnny Walrus, which I casted a couple of days ago, going for this crazy pressure in Feudal Age with towers, and it paid off. Because sure, you're safe in your base, but if your opponent comes with towers and just starts dropping them all around you, you're kind of going to be trapped inside your own base. Yes. So these walls could double as a cage, double as a cage. That's what I wanted to say. So Qeetsa asking one haba. I don't know what haba is in Spanish. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the boar. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know Spanish. Ah, yeah, he says there too. Yeah, so yeah, I think that we're talking about the boars. Does Qeetsa not see that? Oh, he doesn't see that. Yeah, I mean, he asked his opponent. His opponent confirmed it's 2 boars. So you should realize it's out here. But he sent his scout all the way over here, so that's going to hurt him. But then again, being Hindustanis, he's behind by 300 resources collected, but he'll still be able to go up at the same time as his opponent, just because of how much food he saved on villagers. And with less idle TC nonetheless, so that's pretty good. That said, he had to switch to farms earlier, so no, I mean, his build seems quite sound. And he's just going to miss the boar again. I mean, yeah, now he goes back and yeah. Oh, Tech, don't worry about being like, it's fine. I'm I mean, I said that you were late, but I didn't mean it like in, oh, I was waiting for you. I just, don't worry. And yeah, people have discovered that aggression can work pretty well. And again, that's something we see very frequently on maps where you start with palisades. Like, say, if you look at the rank ladder, you will have hideout or hill fort. Palisades will give people a false sense of security. But the right aggression done properly can make those palisades crumble very fast, and you're going to be in deep trouble very quickly. I mean, even on arena, where you have stone walls, we see aggressive plays pay out. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so Qeetsa, I was kind of expecting this when he asked about the boards. It seems he didn't know too much about the map, and he's taking this gold instead of jumping into the towers. YoSoyPacho doing the same. Although I can understand him, right? With this mining camp, you have decent gold and stone as well. And as Saracens, that's nice. Ooh. YoSoyPacho trying to be annoying with the scout. He's going to lose HP for free. Okay, never mind. Qeetsa's scout is forward, so he's not going to be able to catch that and kill it. Fast castle from both. Okay, so while they get up, let's talk about civs, how they match up against each other. So as I mentioned, they both excel at camel play. Saracens, they have tanky camels, right? So they get extra HP thanks to their civ bonus. I think it's up to 25% now. It was changed a little bit during the years, so it used to be that you had to get a unique tech, which gave them... I think Zealotry was 20 extra HP at the start, then they buffed it at 30. And then they made it so that you had 10 extra HP due to the civ bonus, and Zealotry gave you 20. And now they just removed Zealotry and made it that you have 25 extra HP on camels and Mamelukes. Hindustanis, on the other hand, their camels, they attack 25% faster, and they have a unique upgrade to their heavy camels, so they can get the Imperial Camel, which has more HP and more attack than a normal camel. Than a normal heavy camel. I think the attack bonus is around the same, but I might be mistaken. But what's great about that upgrade is that it basically turns their camel from an anti-cavalry unit into a more multi-purpose unit, if you will. So they're not going to be as strong as, for example, knights against archers, but they can hold their ground. So one-on-one, the Saracen camel is going to lose against the Imperial camel. But as we've seen in other tournaments at high level, now Saracens, they have a unique tech, Bimaristan, which makes their monks heal in kind of an area of effect. So they will heal more than one unit at a time. And we've seen that Saracen camels, with a couple of monks behind with that tech, they can actually hold their own against the Hindustani camels. So that's going to be interesting to see. And we have an elephant. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, Qeetsa going for the Armored Elephant to take down the walls and get access to the gold. And apparently both players do not know about the possibility to jump into the towers. Yeah, the way healing works in Age of Empires doesn't make that much sense to begin with. It made more sense in Age 1 because your monk actually had to be close to your unit to heal it. So I mean that makes more sense, but from a purely mechanical point of view, as a game mechanic, it makes more sense for it to be, you know, ranged. Because monks, they're pretty low HP, so you don't really want them to be into the fray with your units. Okay, so both players just taking little jabs at each other. I mean, it's mostly YoSoyPacho. He invested into scouts, and he was trying to find some damage into his opponent's eco. He is on 3 TCs, so he's going to be able to get up to get a build lead in a moment. Yeah, get in there. But Qeetsa's eco setup is slightly better. He has more on food. He's got a lot of wood in the bank, so he could potentially just drop a TC here to lock down this area and secure these 2 woodlands. And he could even consider sending his elephant to take down these walls. To maybe drop a TC here, I think. Yeah, I think a TC will fit here. It should be a 4x4 space. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm not too sure about that. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. That gold might be in the way, actually. Okay, and he's attacking the wonders in the middle. So, I forgot to mention this in the previous set. So, another peculiarity of this map is that if you take down one of the wonders in the middle, it will spawn a relic. And as you can see, the map itself spawns... Okay, no, it did spawn 2 relics. Okay, so this was played on the previous version of the map, where the map actually spawned relics. But then 2 relics should have been enough to start the relic countdown. Was this played on Conquest? Let me check real quick. No, it was played on Standard, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, anyway, you take down the wonder, it spawns a relic. So you're going to have some extra gold access thanks to that. Okay, 4th TC from YoSoyPacho, who is up to Imperial. Okay. Qeetsa, he's quite far away from Imperial, and he does... Yeah, he knows nothing about his opponent's eco. These farms, they're a capture rate bug, so he shouldn't know about that. Okay, oh yeah. So YoSoyPacho now has 3 relics. So yeah, that's the issue we used to have with the previous version of the map. So the map starts with 3 relics. So having 3 relics is going to be enough to start the relic countdown. And even if Qeetsa takes this one, he will not, you know, reset his opponent's countdown. That said, if YoSoyPacho got a 4th relic, his countdown would be nullified. And so the choice which was made was to remove the starting relics from the generation of the map. And so with the new version, the only relics you can get are by destroying the wonders. So this is going to suck for Qeetsa, but at the same time, this countdown at this moment only adds to the pressure, because YoSoyPacho, he is ahead. He is ahead in builds, he's ahead in the age. Not in army, but he's going to get there. And Qeetsa just clicked Imperial. In the back TC, which is something I like to see. Okay, we have Mamelukes. So Mamelukes, they're amazing against cavalry, but not camels. So they have a bonus damage against cavalry, but as you can see, they do not have a bonus damage against camels. On the other hand, camels, they have a bonus damage against... They should have a bonus damage against Mamelukes, which I do not see there. So yeah, you will have to just trust me on that. Yeah, just trust me on that. Mamelukes still no bonus damage to camels. They still have decent attack, and camels, they're not known for having armor, so with the right amount of units, it can still work. And Qeetsa, rightly so, staying on camels. Here against Saracens, so you do not really have to worry about the halberdiers. Okay, YoSoyPacho is going for the relic. As I said, if he gets it, his countdown is going to be reduced to 0. He will not have a countdown. So this could be funny. I'm just waiting to see what his reaction is going to be. Unless he knew about that and, well, and he's not going to say anything. Okay, heavy camel coming in. For Qeetsa, it's going to come in slightly, well, not slightly, 1 minute slower than YoSoyPacho. And so Qeetsa, he's just thinking, well, let's not take the fight for the time being. So speaking of the Saracen bonus, as you can see, these camels, they have 170 HP. Now these camels, once they get to heavy camel, they're going to have 140. And I think the faster attacking is not going to be enough to take the fight. Qeetsa will need to get... Ah yeah, Qeetsa immediately... Oh, okay. So apparently they knew about the... No, I don't think this is going to be a winning fight. I mean, he's taking... Okay, upgrades wise, he's ahead. And he was taking... Yeah, okay, that's... He had one more attack upgrade. He was taking the fight from uphill, so that was actually quite good. Yeah, and YoSoyPacho is now opting to switch into crossbows. We do have Imperial Camel though. And as I mentioned, Imperial Camel can still deal with Arbalesters. And Hindustanis get amazing BBCs as well, so that should not be too much of an issue for him. Okay, taking the fight. Okay, yeah, he's just trying to keep his opponent away from his base. He's got more units. Right, he's got more than double units, so yeah, he wins this fight 100%. Still missing the last attack upgrade, but that's fine. He's prioritizing bills at the moment. Camels, they rely mostly on bonus damage. Okay, so it's 18 bonus damage. I'll take a look at how much it is for Imperial Camel, because I think it's still 18. Maybe it goes up to 19, but I'm not too sure. But back to my point, Camels, they rely mostly on bonus damage. So, yeah, missing the last attack upgrade is not ideal, but it's not something you really need to prioritize. Okay, yeah, it says 18. Okay, I remember correctly. But they do have +1 attack compared to Heavy Camel. They still have less HP, but 1 more attack and faster attacking is going to be enough to take care of the Heavy Camel. Should still be a winning fight for the Imperial ones. Okay, we have Elite Mameluke for YoSoyPacho. Probably kind of a waste. Right? Elite Mameluke is amazing if you get to a big mass, like 40 of them. There isn't much that counters them. I think the only possible counters would be Arbalesters, if microed correctly, and yeah, an Imperial Camel. Oh wait, YoSoyPacho trapped his okay, no, they're not trapped. They looked trapped, but they were not. $15 Imperial Camels. 41 on gold. I would like to see more villagers on farms. Qeetsa. Yeah, just taking down the TC. With camels, just Hindustani things. Oh, he's taking the fight, but okay, so he had decent numbers, but they were weak. Right, they took damage. So he's going to lose this. And YoSoyPacho just builds another TC in the same spot. That's fine. Okay, getting the attack upgrade. Yeah, we almost had the Imperial Camel petting zoo. Okay, castle from Qeetsa, so he was still missing conscription. And honestly, if the way YoSoyPacho is playing this, if Qeetsa ever gets worried about the relic victory, he could maybe sacrifice 40 Imperial Camels to just run straight through his opponent's base, go to the monastery and take it down. I know there's a castle there, but 40 Imperial Camels, they're going to be able to take it down before the castle heals them. Okay, so I said that Elite Mameluke in this situation is kind of a waste. So first of all, there's going to be Heavy Camels as a mid shield, so that changes things a lot. So yeah, I like this composition now. Because the Heavy Camels are going to engage, and the Mameluke will be able to hit from behind. So there's going to be much more DPS from YoSoyPacho. Big fight about to come. You have Shatagni for Qeetsa. That's going to improve the range of his hand cannons. So he's probably thinking about that. Did he get the... Okay, he's missing Grand Trunk Road, which is nice. It improves your gold income, every form of gold income, and as a secondary effect, it also gives you better rates at the market. And I think with that deck, you actually get better rates than the Saracens do. So that's pretty good to have. Okay, YoSoyPacho just running through here. That castle is going to get denied. And you know that we have the specialty of this map, the dancing camels. Yeah, I'll just look at this lottery in a moment. I just need to focus on the camels for the time being. Okay, no, never mind. The castle goes up. Camels still dancing. Okay, am I finally going to see if these towers can be destroyed? Or is Qeetsa going to take control of that again? I'll never know about that. Oh, maybe I'll see this one. This is a bad fight for Qeetsa. You do not engage Mamelukes in a choke point like that. Yeah, if that was on an open field, Imperial Camels maybe win that, but not in a choke point. Okay, missed this. We had an attempt to forward castle by YoSoyPacho. Qeetsa just says nope. Takes down the traps, denies the castle. But yeah, YoSoyPacho might be able to win this. Yeah, he's probably going to be winning this via Relic victory. Unless they had an agreement and he's going to ungarrison them in a moment. Okay, now we have N cannons. So sure, it's Hindustanis. Yeah, there's a relic because that's the fourth one, which prevented the relic countdown when garrisoned. He still has 3, which is enough for the countdown. We'll see if he ejects one, but I doubt it. And yeah, I don't think I like the hand cannon choice here. And Qeetsa calls the GG. Yeah, so Hindustani hand cannons, they're nice because they get +2 range, and they have extra armor due to the save bonus. Granted, Qeetsa only had the first armor, so they have +2/+2. If you get all of the upgrades, you get to +3, +4, +5. So it gives them 5/5 armor, which is pretty nice. But I think the Mamelukes are too tanky and they can just close the gap despite the distance. And they can just take the fight and kill the hand cannons. Now, if it was hand cannons with an Imperial Camel mid-shield in front against Mamelukes with a heavy camel mid-shield in front, then I think I favor the Hindustanis in that situation. But otherwise, no, I think otherwise, in any other situation, I prefer the Mamelukes. Okay, so YoSoyPacho takes the first game. Granted, the relics, he almost won due to relics, but even without those, he would have won this. That said, the relics gave him 2k4 resources, which is nice, but he was ahead anyway. I mean, even if the countdown wasn't there, he would be winning. So it sucks for Qeetsa, but that happens. Yeah, army is pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, 25k more resources collected. Even without the relics, that's what, 2200, no, 22k resources, more resources collected. Yeah. Alrighty, so that was game 1. Let me load up to game 2 and we'll take a look at that. And it's going to be on Gugong. Okay, Gugong. We have YoSoyPacho in purple, playing as the Bohemians, against Qeetsa in teal, playing as the Italians. And before we talk about how the two civs are going to be interacting, let's talk about the map. So, as I mentioned, this is an arena-style map, but it's way more open, as you can see. So there's no wood line on the edges. Instead, you have these houses and buildings, because Gugong is supposed to be the Forbidden City in China. You have these squares all around. As you can see, they have different resources. So the 4 in the corners where you have houses, you have piles of gold. Let me zoom in. You have piles of gold, and a relic. Then you have this small square in the middle where you always have 2 relics. And then you have 2 other squares on the side with different resources. So this one, 4 boars, plenty of deer. How many are there? 9 deers, and 2 berry bushes, or rather 2 sets of berry bushes. And on the other side, you have 15 spots of stone for about a little more than 5k stone. So map control is going to be important, because as you can see, you have less than standard resources than arena in your map, in your base, because on arena you have a spot with 7 golds and another one with 4, whereas here you have 2 of 4. So you have 3 less tiles of gold compared to arena. So eventually you will have to go outside to take more resources. Again, this is played on standard victories, so relic victory, it is possible, although you have a total of 7. So I would say it's slightly harder to pull off compared to other maps, because there are more relics. Although we've seen, I think it was Alexander pull it off last time we casted this map. Hey Biscuits, welcome. Yeah, it's a very, very cool map. The creator must be an amazing person. I just wish we knew him. Anyway, let's talk about the civs, shall we? So, we have Bohemians for YoSoyPacho. Amazing arena civ. Probably one of the best, if not the best, at the moment. Due to their bonuses, they can pull off very crazy strats with monk pushes, fast imperials. They can get chemistry in Castle Age, so by the time they reach imperial, they can just make bomber cannons straight away. The only other civ in the game which can do that is Turks, because they get chemistry for free. So very strong timings for the Bohemians. Italians, on the other hand, they can work out as a kind of counter to the Bohemians, because they can pull off fast imperials if they want to, because they have cheaper age up costs. And the moment they get to Imperial, they have cheaper chemistry because all of their university tax are discounted. Okay, Qeetsa asking what happens if you destroy the buildings. But unless I'm mistaken... Wait, no, they do not spawn relics, I think. That only happens in Krorina. Okay. YoSoyPacho correcting himself and saying that maybe that's what happens with on the map with wonders. Yeah, that's just for Krorina. You do not have that on this map. Back to Italians. Yeah, you can pull off a fast imp because it's cheaper. And the moment you get to Imperial, you have access to the Condottiero at your barracks, which is not shown here. Yeah, it's not shown here. And Condottieri, they are an infantry unit which moves pretty fast. They do not require any upgrades aside from the blacksmith ones, and they have a bonus damage against gunpowder units. And Bohemians, they love gunpowder units. So Italians can kind of work out as a counter-civ and counter-pick to Bohemians. And maybe that's why Qeetsa picked them, because remember that Bohemians was YoSoyPacho's first pick. Alright, Tech, have a good one. See you next time. Okay, so Biscuit's asking if I've seen many players go for the hunt. Let's see. I casted a couple of games on this map, and I think I've always seen people take at least a couple of boars in different ways. So, if I'm not mistaken, I casted you on this one, Biscuits, and you just went for a mill here in this square, and you took stuff from there. Me personally, the way I played this, I hope it's not going to be a spoiler, because that set hasn't been casted yet, but I just sent down the Veil and took 3 boars with the single Veil. Right, you blocked with the Scout, kind of a Black Forest style. You go back to your base, and you do not even need to kill the boars and let them rot underneath your TC, right? You're just hopping to the TC with the Veil, and the boars are not going to be able to escape because you have walls. So you just take your boars whenever you want them. And I've seen other people lure the boars that way. I've seen someone do that with a Scout, hitting a single boar, someone go with a single Veil to take the boar. I haven't seen people do what I do, taking multiple boars, but I think that's up to personal preference. And I think I've also seen someone go there with... wait, no, I'm not going to say anything. Because that's a set I watched. Because I wanted to see how one of the players approached this map. But I haven't casted it, Tech has not casted it, so I'm not going to say anything. Sorry. Okay, so Qeetsa is going to be slightly faster. Well, 1 minute and 30 seconds faster to castlate. He went for a stable. So he's going for the standard approach on arena maps. So he's going for Scouts to take map control and fight for the relics. YoSoyPacho, he's got a couple of spears and he's on stone. So he might be thinking... Yeah, he's going for a castle drop here. And quick reminder that Bohemian Spears, they deal extra bonus damage. Yeah, look at that. So they're particularly good at killing scouts. So if you have a couple of spears guarding your vills as you're going forward to drop the castle, your opponent is not going to be able to stop that with scouts. So yeah, as you can see, Qeetsa invested into scouts. 3 are very weak. I do not see the 4th one. Is he guarding a relic? It's over there, yeah. It has health, but he's not going to be able to do much. So yeah, YoSoyPacho is just going to to come forward with the vills. Qeetsa trying to fight off the spears with spears of his own. Probably not going to be happening. I mean, he's going to have a monk, right? Okay, Qeetsa, go out with the spears. Yeah, if he went out, he could have stopped the castle. Now he will have to delete the walls to go out, yeah. But I mean, YoSoyPacho could just drop a wall over there. He's got spears. Yeah, you're not denying this castle. That castle is going up. And that's going to hurt for Qeetsa because it denies this gold. And kind of denies this woodline for the time being. He could probably rebuild his lumber camp over here, so his villagers would be cutting this way. Or build it here, although there's the barracks in the way. And now Qeetsa will have to deal with the Bohemian unique unit, if YoSoyPacho makes it. Now, good news for Qeetsa is that he's taking this food, so he should be able, if he expects a fast imp behind this by YoSoyPacho, he should be able to have the resources to go up himself. So, as I mentioned, Italians, they have it cheaper to go up to the next stage. I think, if I remember the numbers correctly, I think it's 850 food and 680 gold to go up. Something like amongst those lines. Oh, he was still missing Loom, so one of his veils died. But yeah, he's got mangonels out, so he's going to be able to fend off the Hussite wagons. They take bonus damage from the mangonels. And they do not deal that much damage themselves to the mangonels. No botkins, so Qeetsa doesn't have to worry too much about the mangonel being sniped by the castle. So one reason why dropping a castle on this map is a little bit more awkward for the attacker as well compared to standard arena is that normally on arena you drop the castle on a piece of wall and you tend to have one of the actual resources for your opponent sitting there. So you drop the castle and then you have a mining camp on a gold or a stone. So your forward villagers are also doing something more useful, let's say, and they're protected by the castle. As you can see here, YoSoyPacho doesn't really have that option, right? I mean, he could have dropped a lumber camp here, but taking wood doesn't feel as good as taking gold or stone when you're going for a fast imp. And he's working towards that, right? Just missing 500 food. He's got more than needing in gold. Yeah, he's going to buy it. And he's idling. And there's Imp. So we should be seeing University any moment now from YoSoyPacho. University itself is cheaper for the Bohemians. Both the University and the Blacksmith are cheaper as a Civ bonus. Fervor will improve their villagers' moving speed as well, not only the monks. Again, due to the shift bonus. Okay, now YoSoyPacho is going to know about this from Qeetsa. Qeetsa rushing the aside wagon with villagers. Villagers actually have a bonus damage against aside wagons. And yeah, as Biscuits is saying in chat, getting chemistry on the way up is very nice for the Bohemians, but we still have no university for YoSoyPacho, and we have Imperial for Qeetsa. Okay, so Qeetsa dropping a monastery. He doesn't have redemption, so that's not an option for the time being against the aside wagons. And he doesn't really have the eco to go for condottieri for the time being. Okay, so YoSoyPacho is going to ignore chemistry for the time being and just go with monks and traps. And honestly, that's understandable. He knows he doesn't have the best of ecos behind this, and he's pretty all in. And he knows his opponent doesn't have a... Well, actually, does he know? But I mean, he doesn't know his opponent doesn't have a castle, but he probably expects it. So he figures, well, for the time being, traps are fine. I mean, in order to get out a bomber cannon, I would have to invest 200 wood. No, it's actually 100 wood in university. 300 food and 200 gold into the chemistry upgrade. I'd rather have monk upgrades and traps behind that. And to be fair, even if Italians, they just got up to imp, even if they get chemistry behind this and they get bomber cannons out, we already have redemption and block printing for the Bohemians. So he's going to be able to convert the bomber cannons if they come out. And yeah, Qeetsa doesn't really have much to defend from this. He's slightly ahead in builds. And he did get atonement, right? So he's going to be able to convert his enemy monks. YoSoyPacho getting that as well. Just converts a single monk. Oh, that was fast. Okay, we have... Yeah, we don't have devotion from neither player. So this is going to be very, very RNG dependent. So both players just going into monks. Now YoSoyPacho is ahead in monk count. Already has 7 on the field. He's rolling for, well, he's rolling to this side with traps. That's going to be a relic heist. Mangonel killing the monk. Okay, we now have block printing. Qeetsa making archers. I think it's too late. Especially with aside wagons on the field. Yeah, archers should be nice against monks. You still need the mass, and you still need to be careful about the aside wagons though. We now have devotion from YoSoyPacho. Yeah, and Qeetsa calls the GG. Alright, so YoSoyPacho takes this 2-0. Yeah, being unable to stop the castle drop in the first place was probably the killing blow for Qeetsa. Maybe the moment you see that going up, you do not try to, you know, make a double TC thing work. You just go fast imp behind it. You're Italian, so you should be able to get there faster than the Bohemians anyway. Especially if you see they're investing into the Hussite wagons. Maybe that could have worked. I mean, dropping the second TC to take these resources, it's fine. Using that TC as a drop-off point. Producing from both TCs, it is not. Let's see if it was. So he's producing from this one. Yeah, he's producing from both. So yeah, that's going to delay your imp timing too much. And against Bohemians, you don't really want that. So yeah, I think you produce from a single TC, or even stop producing from both TCs. You click up, and the moment you've clicked up, you start producing with one of the two TCs, because then your opponent is going to be on one TC. I mean, up until the end of the game, YoSoyPacho was on one TC. So the moment he clicks imp, his eco is not going to change. It's going to stay at the same amount. Whereas if you have two TCs, the moment you click imp, you can produce from one. And realistically, if the only food you need once you get to Imperial is the one needed for chemistry, which is even cheaper for the Italians, you can justify producing from one TC as you go up, because your eco is going to be stronger. So I think that's probably how it could have worked out for Qeetsa had he played it like that. Anyway, let's take a look at the statistics. Yeah, I mean, society-wise, Qeetsa was ahead. So if the timings were just better for him, it works in a different way. It's a completely different game. Okay. Anyway, that was our second set. So, what time is it? Okay, yeah, I think I can cast a third set for today. But this was played on the previous patch, so I had to reverse my game to the previous version in order to cast these games. The next ones are going to be from the current patch, so I need like 5 minutes, something like that, to get my game back to the current version. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and in the meantime I'll also go through the games we could be casting and choose one of them, choose one set from them. I'll probably go for round 3, because we've seen Dugong, we've seen Lagoon Forest as our game 2 maps, and game 3 it was Shimmerpool, the map for game 1 in the third round. So I'm going to pick probably one of those sets, so we get variety in the maps for today's cast. Anyway, 5-minute break. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So Steam says it's going to take another minute to finish updating the game to the current version. In the meantime, let's introduce the players and the set we're going to be casting as our last one for today. Okay, so the one I chose is this. So it's going to be Maxymczech, also known as Loredek, against Maxymczech. So the reason I chose this is that Maxymczech, who I'm probably going to be calling Loredek while casting because I know him with that name, he's from my same clan, so we talk a bit. We tend to talk a bit about the tournament, on how is it going and whatnot. And he said this was a crazy set, and I believe him because we are going to be seeing Maxi. So let's introduce the players. Although I think I've already casted both in the league in this season, but we've introduced the other 4 players for today, so let's do the same for these guys as well. So Loredek, aka Maxymczech, the second, he's around 1650. He's a fellow Italian player, and he started playing in the league last season. Maxi, on the other hand, he's around the same elo. When you take a look at the average elo, and he's a player from Czechia, and I believe, okay, no, he didn't start last season. He's been playing with us for quite some seasons now. I forget how many, but he's not new to the rodeo. So, elo-wise, this is going to be quite a balanced set, and I'm curious to see how these 2 players will be faring against each other, because one thing I know about Loredek is that he tends to have a pretty well-balanced eco. Right? Whenever I see him play or play against him, I think that's always going to be one of his strengths. Maxi, on the other hand, he just goes crazy. Goes crazy with lanes, with the forwards. He's a messy player. So it's going to be interesting seeing these 2 play styles clash. So, yeah, and Biscuits, he's just confirming what we just said. So yeah, Maxi is going to be an interesting character to see. Now, as I mentioned, this was played in round 3. So our first map is going to be Shimmerpool, which we'll be talking once we get into the game. And I think we casted only once. And then the second map is going to be the Thaw, which is a pretty open map. So I'm curious to see how crazy Maxi will go on that. Actually, I think I've already casted Maxi on the Thaw. So we'll see. Save-wise, the randomizer banned Chinese, Bohemians, Mongols, Burmese, and Saracens. Maxymczech went on to ban Persians and Georgians, and sniping Vietnamese. He was left with Britons, Slavs, and Italians. Maxi, on the other hand, banned Hindustanis and Goths, sniped Tatars, and was left with Byzantines, Sicilians, and Portuguese. So it's interesting to see how Maxi banned Goths, considering the laming potential that Civ has. And I do not know if this was what was going on in their heads at the moment, but I like how Loredek sniped Vietnamese, who know where your TC is, and so make it easier to lame. And the Maxi, he sniped Tatars, which get more food from their sheep, so it's a pretty nice bonus to have when you're getting lamed, I guess. I don't know if that's why he sniped Tatars, but I don't know, it seems funny to me. Anyway, yeah, the game has finished updating, so let me launch it real quick. Oh, he bans them because of the anti-archer UU. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, this one was played on the new patch, so Italians, they now get extra armor on their archers, so they're kind of good at countering archer play themselves. And Britons, you have extra range, so that's... I mean, they should be able to deal with archers quite handily themselves. I'm also happy to see Loredek playing with the Slavs, having Slavs, because he likes that infantry siege play. Okay, game is loaded. Let me just get capture rate. Because I had to use the previous build of capture rate for casting the other games. Okay, capture rate is updating. Alright, we'll have to wait for capture rates to update. I'm sorry. Shouldn't take too long. Right? Okay, should be updated. Is it opening? Please capture it. Okay, there we are. Okay. Let me change scene. Oh yeah, because I was taking the previous capture rate. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Here we are. So, Shimmer Pool. What is this map? So, you start... Hold on. I just want to see where this villager is going. Oh wait, it's Maxi. I thought it was Lord. Never mind. Let's talk about the map real quick. Of course, it's going to name. He's Maxi. So as you can see, there's a body of water in the middle, but you can get different generations for this one. So right now, you see there is deep fish, which is actually slightly better for Loredek, and you also have a relic in this kind of middle island, which is just shore. It's a shores. It's not in a hybrid terrain. Now, what I mean by the fact that you can have different generations is that you can have this one with the body of water and the fish. You can have the icy version of the map where there's no fish and there's ice, so you can walk through the middle. And that would have actually made it easier for Maxi to go forward and lane. Loredek already seeing the Vils and the scout forward. He's got no loom. He's getting his woods lamed, of course. And then you can have another version of the map where you do have the body of water in the middle, but instead of deep fish, here you have short fish. So you have, it's actually the same amount of food. So yeah, by some generations, you will maybe need to do a hybrid build with the dock in the middle. Some others, you do not. Like if you have high seer, there's no fish, there's no point in going for a dock. Okay, Loredek losing his scout. He might be able to kill... Okay, kills a villager from Maxi. Delaming Bill, so that's nice. And... Okay, last thing about the map. As you can see, the only wood available is around the body of water, so keeping control of this, even in the late game, can be useful if your opponent eventually takes control of it and goes for cannon galleons. And then, if you're looking for extra resources, as you can see, you have just 2 piles of gold close to your base, with 1500 gold each though, so they last a little bit longer. You should have some stone... Oh. Maybe that's a different generation. Anyway. The ones close to your TC as gold, they have 1500. You have the extra ones around the map, which have 2k each. Right, so you see, you have just 2 tiles, but they hold 4k in total. And then for the stone, you have to go to the corners of the map where you also have relics. There are some ruins lying around, but that's it. Berries, as you can see, you have no berries close to your TC. You have some out here with some hunt on them. There are quite a big number of, you know, lions or wolves, depending on the map generation. I would be curious to see Maxi just go for a spear, take the lions and taking them to his opponent's base. I would actually love to see that, but yeah. And having no berries close to your TC makes it so that if you want to go into farms later on, it's a bit awkward because you naturally build a mill on the berries, and that gives you farming options. But if you have no berries, then that becomes less natural, and that can be awkward to deal with. Okay, so Loredek just up to feudal, ignoring the water, which is interesting. Okay, Maxi going forward with the bills, and I know what this is. So this was played on the new patch. That means that Sicilians can now build dungeons in Feudal Age. In Dark Age. Of course, those dungeons will not be able to... I didn't know what it was. It wasn't a dungeon rush. It was a TC drop. No, okay, Laura. You need to delete this. You do not have the wood for a lumber camp. You will not have the wood to repair your TC, so maybe you need to delete this. Actually, no. Hell, what do I know? Just drop a lumber camp now. You later on drop a tower here. Your opponent suddenly is out of wood. Anyway, I thought this was going to be... I know this guy. So, I thought this was going to be a dungeon rush from Maxi, because as I said, Sicilians can now build them in Dark Age. But they will not be shooting arrows until Feudal Age. But no, it was a TC drop. And yeah, it's basically... he also walled in the villager. Jesus. I love Maxi. This is so messy. Yeah, this is going to be a TC drop. Sure, Red is not going to have wood access for the time being. I mean, he's going to be able to drop a lumber camp here and take wood from there. He's not going to have a TC eventually, but normally you would just build rush your opponent the moment the TC goes down. You can't exactly do that now because Loredek could just wall himself in the wood line. Oh, of course. Of course. He's Sicilians, he has extra stone, and he had the wood for another TC because Loredek was not fighting back. And so Maxi didn't have to repair and waste his wood. So yeah, now you take down the tower with the TC. And Laura? I don't want to say he's screwed, but he's not in a good position. Oh god, Maxi. Oh, actually, I forgot to change the title, so it's go. Just one sec. Maxymczech. Okay, now it's proper. Sorry about that. So, okay, Maxi, he's actually ahead in bills, and that's because Loredek has no TC for the time being. So Maxi is just going to drop farms here. He got a dock here, which is nice. So he's going to be fish booming. Maxi was trying to wall him in again. I mean, Maxi should not be able to... Actually, I think a TC could fit here. In between these houses. Yeah, that's a 2-tile gap. Yeah, I think a TC fits there. And it's Sicilian, so you're not going to stop that going up. Jesus. I mean, the good news for Loredek is that now Maxi is going to be unable to drop another TC unless he goes for stone, right? So now you drop your TC. You're in feudal. You already have a barracks, and you've been taking gold this time, all of this time, because the Maxi was not going for that. Now you get the wood, you drop an archer range, and you should have units to prevent another TC drop. In theory, because it's still Sicilian, so you would need archers with fletching, I think, to deny that TC drop. Ooh, oh yeah, Loredek was on stone in the corner. So he knows about the corner store. Does Maxi know about that? No. Now the thing is, Maxi is... I mean, he made a dock, but is not making any fishing ships. Men at arms. From Laura. Okay. Okay, he's maybe thinking, okay, let's make a couple of men at arms and go for his original wood line. Or at least where his base used to be. We'll see where he sends them. I mean, these two farms are exposed. Do you really want to show your man at arms right now? I think you wait until you have two. And maybe you go for a dock yourself. It's going to be nice. Actually, one of the reasons why I think this has been working so well for Maxi is that his opponent, I mean, Laura didn't try to go for a dock in Dark Age. I think if there was a dock from Laura, this goes in a very different way, because then he would have had more villagers on wood to begin with to sustain the fishing ship production. And he would have still had food eco while his TC was down. Okay, we now have archers for Laura. No fletching. I mean, he could afford it if he wanted. Could even go out to take these zebras. There's a lot of lions. I mean, you send a couple of archers maybe to take care of the lions. But now we have skirmishers for Maxi. So that's going to be nice to defend against the archers. He's ahead by 5 villagers, but Loredek is ahead in resources collected, although a lot of that is going to be stone. Actually, can we see that real quickly? So he is ahead by 800 resources. 500 of that is stone. His eco is going to be looking better now, because now there's archers, and so Maxi is kind of stuck around the TC. Okay, he remembers he has a dock, so he's going to drop some fishing ships. I wonder if Loredek drops a dock himself the moment he sees his opponents. Okay, he already knows about the dock, so it's... Yeah, I would have liked to see a dock from him. Yeah, yeah, Otter, of course. Of course it was a Maxi douche. What else would it be? Okay, fletching coming in for Loredek. This is going to be nice, especially to deal... can you deal with the skirms? No. It's still skirms and they move faster. No, actually they move at the same speed. What am I talking about? Okay, I like this from Maxi. Make a galley. Prevent your opponent from going to water and get that free eco. Or rather, that undouchable eco, if you will. Okay, Laura has got a market. He's sitting on 700 stone, almost 800. He could... Yeah, he could consider selling some of that. Maybe make a couple of towers here, just to be annoying. Sell the stone, maybe work your way towards Castle Age. And because you're still going to be on stone, you might even drop a castle on your opponent's face. Because Maxi still ahead in builds, not by much. He's ahead by 2 eco, and that 2 eco is fishing ships, so villager count is the same. As we can see, more idle TC time for Maxi. Maxi taking down his opponent's units. Loredek just going for the hunt. He just sold all of his stone. And if he sells the wood as well, I think he's going to be able to click to castle. And maybe the moment you click to castle, you take 6 vills and you send them to stone instead. By the time you get to Castle Age, you're going to have enough for a castle. And then your... Maxi stole a... he stole a farm from underneath his opponent's TC. Jesus. I do not know if it was by mistake. Maybe not. Okay, tower from Loredek. Still sitting on 600. Okay, there we go. There we go. Sell wood and go up. Perfect. Okay, 4 on stone. I mean... yeah, probably send more, but at the same time... if your opponent is investing this much into Feudal Age... maybe dropping as extra TCs yourself should be enough against the archers. Okay, these skirms are just going to sit underneath the tower. It's fine. Just leave them there. You're going to be up to castle anytime soon. You drop a single siege workshop even. I mean, you have so many options, right? Another tower here, siege workshop, TC, castle. These are not Saracen archers, so they're not going to be able to take down the tower. And the moment they try to leave, they get shot, yeah. Yeah, honestly, knights would work as well. He doesn't have a stable, but I mean, he's got enough gold to buy the resources. Single stable should be able to like and you think you need 2 knights to take care of this. 2 knights should be enough. Yeah, there's the siege workshop. So, Biscuits, you were talking about how you need to learn how to play this map. What are your thoughts so far? What have you learned? Yeah, always TC drop. That's always the solution. Honestly, now that I think about it, I would love to see a Maxi against Ray set. Because Ray likes to TC drop as well, so I don't know. I can already see them sending bills forward at the same time. They just meet here in the middle and they just will fight it out. Okay, so ecos are still quite similar. We do have 6 fishing ships from Maxi. Now, he's not going to be able to easily drop a dock this side, but I mean, you still have vills here. You send one here and you have a good spot for efficient fish. And Laura, he's Britons, so his TCs are cheaper on wood. He could potentially drop one on this gold to protect it. Got a tower here. Got siege here. And now I would say it's Maxi who needs knights or siege of his own. Yeah, second TC from Maxi. We're booming. Gotta make use of that faster building bonus. Okay, so Maxi is allergic to knights and halbs. What is his stance on sergeants? Ooh, nice micro from Maxi. Okay, so sergeants are not an option. I got it. So the issue for Maxi now is that, well, not really an issue, but he doesn't know. I don't think he knows about the stones in the corners. And that might be another reason why he picked Sicilians. Maybe he thinks there's no stone on the map, and that is why Sicilians are good, because you start with extra stone, and so they can actually... Dude. He keeps stealing. Yeah, that was not a mistake. He was doing it on purpose. Okay, he just lost most of his army. The remaining army is weak, so... Okay, horse collar. So yeah, we're booming. And we're going to be dropping farms here, I suppose. Another TC. Okay. Did he buy the stone? Yeah, he did. Okay, Laura is defending quite well. It's easy with Britons to defend against archers, although... Okay, never mind. Maxi has Botkin. Laura does not, so they do have the same range. And I think at this point, Laura just forgot about Botkin. Or maybe he thinks he has it. He could probably drop some extra farms with this amount of wood. But I guess he's too focused on microing and trying to kill his opponent's TC. Okay, Maxi just branching out to get that gold. Okay, finally getting Botkin. I wish there was a way to see how much food the fishing ships have brought in during the entire game. Maxi keeps winning the Mangonel Wars. Ahead by 7 bills. So 13 eco total. But Lore could almost drop a castle. And where could it drop it? I think you can fit one. Yeah, you can probably fit it here. The question is, will he... I mean, here... Oh, called it. Yeah, that's a good position. Maybe not if you walk underneath your opponent's TC, and you need to take care of the Mangonel first. Please, Laura. Please. Oh, this is tense. Okay, 1 for 1. Yeah, go, 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 go. Okay, this is going up. Maxi. Oh, I love this. Yeah, so this is something you can do with Sicilians. You know how towers do not work against castle drops? Yeah, Sicilian TCs can work, if you then shoot the villagers instead of the units. I've actually had someone do this to me before, and I tried doing it as well, and it works. If you drop the TC the moment you see the villagers coming forward, you can definitely deny the castle with the TC. Well, this was not the case, but you can do that. Trust me. Okay, so Laura is going to be able to idle most of Maxi's eco. Well, not most, but a good chunk of it. And he's just going to be dropping eco behind this himself. He's going to be running out of gold. And this... Ooh, he doesn't know about that gold. That's going to hurt. It is scarce, but at the same time you have 2k here. So this... You have 4k, it's 2 tiles, it counts as 5. It's still not that much, and you have the quote-unquote issue that it is more concentrated, so map control is even more important. And yeah, Maxi didn't know about the stone. And he's asking. Laura probably too focused on the units to answer. Yeah, 46 minutes in, and this is what the map looks like. Right, this is all you have on the map. Rest of the map, barren land. Nothing. Yeah, and now Laura has 24 crossbowmen. Is Maxi trying to go imp? No way. I mean, even if he is, what does imp give give to him? I mean, you get Bracer, I suppose, so your skirmishers are not getting outranged by the crossbowman anymore. Yeah, he's going imp. Why? Kept Ram? Is that why? Yeah, he blinds the castle, but he doesn't know about the stone. Wait, did he get... Yeah, he got Town Watch. But yeah, that's not enough. Okay, Longbowman from Loredek, which, yeah, they have the same range of a crossbow, so not that much of a difference for the time being. Ballistics coming in, so that's going to be nice. And I'm still wondering what Max is going to be doing. Oh god. I want to see what Maxi does with Imperial, unless this is a Imperial into GG moment. Because, I mean, Captran could work against the Britons if you want to push this, but you would need to at least make them on your way up, just to have a decent number as you get to Imperial. Now the TC from Loredek, who is just going to be booming behind this. Yeah, his eco is now looking pretty healthy. Maxi just bought the stone for the castle. Oof. I mean, he kills quite a bit of crossbowmen. But yeah, there's a big difference in eco. And what's the plan from here? Yeah, I agree. Laura could go for Rams himself. He's a little bit tight on wood, and I think he's probably thinking, let's use our wood to expand our eco. Mangonels rolling forward. Probably to take care of the buildings. That's going to be faster than using the castle. Although he has crossbows in the castle. So that's why he's shooting extra arrows. Okay, we have a trap rolling forward for Maxi, but he has no units to protect it with. So... And we have Imperial from Loredek. I think the crossbows might be able to take the trap from outside the TC range. Maybe? Okay, so we know there's just 2 vills in there. Lore doesn't. But he could... Ooh, that's unfortunate for Maxi. Yeah, the trap gets taken down by the mangonels. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Siege Workshop. Second Siege Workshop, okay. Okay, we finally have Bracer in for Maxi, so he's at least not going to get kite by the Briton crossbows for the time being. But yeah, in about 1 minute, Loredek is going to be an Imperial, so his crossbows will be outranging the skirms again. Nice mango from Maxi. I don't know, Otter. I don't know if it's because he had the resources banked, because he was idling, so he was actually thinking about Imperial. But I don't know. I mean, if he had a better eco behind that, like if he had some TCs back home with farms and whatnot, I can see Imp with Captoram working. But the problem is he expanded his eco close to his opponent's base instead of using the safe space behind, on the other side of the pond. So he didn't really have any eco to make something happen. And yeah, chemistry from Loredek. Bracer. He's going to have the resources for Arbalester as well if he wants to. And the moment Bracer comes in, I think he can snipe these two traps with the crossbows. I mean, he realizes there aren't that many veils in the TC, so he can just sit underneath here and take the traps. Yeah, he's going to out-prepare this. And I think... I mean, Maxi is still in this. And I can see why he's staying in this, right? Because if you think about it, when he was douching Loredek in Feudal Age, many people in Loredek's position would have called the GG there, but he didn't, and he came back. So Maxime might be thinking, okay, this is GG territory for me, but let's see, because he made it back, maybe I could make it back, so that makes sense. I mean, he has 15 skirmishers. And his opponent, I mean, he has double the amount of archers and he has mangonels, sure. But if you micro properly, you could maybe whittle down your opponent's army. Yeah, I mean, the eco count is pretty similar. But if you look at rest collected, Loredek is ahead by 3k. And the issue is that both ecos are not strong, right? But Loredek, he's making crossbows, which do not cost food. Maxi, he's making skirmishers, which cost food, and that's going to delay many of his upgrades. He's going to be an issue with his veil production. So overall, both on low eco, but it's better for Loredek composition. Taking gold, so Loredek still has this spot. Maxi, he's got 10 on gold. Yeah, this one. Okay, imagine if he had Town Patrol. He would be able to finally see the stone, I think. And this is why the line of sight upgrades are important. I have to say, Loredek is losing many units randomly because of the galleys. So that's sloppy, but I mean, he's pushing here, he's fine. Oh, Cannon Galleon. Loredek immediately notices. He's going to repair and move the trap. Nice attempt from Maxi. But yeah, this castle will eventually go down. Yeah, and Maxi calls the GG. So Loredek takes game 1. Ooh, that was a kind of a roller coaster. So Loredek is able to kind of survive against Maxi's madness. Now the question is, that must have been a stressful game for Loredek. For Maxi, it was just, you know, the usual stuff. So the question is Loredek going to be able to keep up the same resilience in game 2? And speaking of this one, I think it's a different game. First of all, if Loredek goes for a hybrid build, and so he has a dock up in Dark Age, I think it's way easier for him to defend, because again, he would have food eco, and his build would have been so that he has more villagers on wood by the time he gets douched, and so overall it would have been easier for him to deal with that. And that's the main reason why you do not usually douche on hybrid maps. And then it would have also been a different game if Maxi knew about the stone, because then suddenly his Sicilians with stone axes, he can just go crazy, right? I mean, just this corner is 3k stone. That's what? That's 4 castles or even more dungeons. He could be doing anything. So anyway, let's take a look at the statistics, and we'll see the next game. Same score on Society. I wonder why. Huh. So apparently fishing ships give you way more points compared to villagers. Okay. Good to know. Alright. Let me load up the second game. Which is going to be on the Thaw. And it's going to be Slavs in the red for Maxymczech, and Byzantines from Maxi here in the blue. So as usual, just for Woodville. Now this map, as you can see, both players, they have fish around their TCs. I think the map has been scripted in such a way that you have 8, always 8 around your TC. Take a quick count. Yeah. The distribution is going to be slightly different. So as you can see, Loredek has a decent cluster over here with 3 fish close together. Maxi doesn't really have that. Now Maxi, already forward. Loredek sees it and is like, yeah, I'm going to take those boars. Thank you very much, sir. Do not kill both. Okay, Maxi is going to take a single sheep. Wait, did he kill the boar with the TC? No. Okay, so he kills both boars underneath the TC. and lets them rot. I mean, that's still value for Maxi, right? You're forcing your opponent to not get all of the meat from the boars. Oh, he loses the scout. He's going to take down the house.
Wood, please.
Maxi not happy about losing the scout. Yeah, basically, that's what I thought as soon as I saw Byzantines. We could see another TC drop. And honestly, if you drop your TC here, you suddenly have wood axes, and you're killing your opponent's TC. So, yeah. This could happen. I mean, I think if we see 4 to 5 villagers on wood, that's going to be a TC drop. Because that would be the proper amount. Yeah, I think it's going to be another TC drop. Has he taken the boars yet? Yeah, he's already taking both boars. Saving the sheep, which he's probably going to take forward with him. This scout and villager just running after a villager from Maxi, trying to quick wall. It's not going to... Oh! What a pro. What a pro. Okay, so Maxi saves that villager. He's ahead by 1, despite getting loom straight away. I mean, Loredek got loom as well, right? Yeah. He's going to wall the gold. Of course he is. Okay, mill, then... Okay, it's probably not going to be a TC drop then. Unless he does it very delayed. But generally speaking, you would already be walking towards your opponent, if not dropping it. Okay, I thought he was going to wall it, I guess. Oh, that's interesting. So if you have a single palisade there, you're going to get vision on that gold. So you will know where your opponent is going for gold. Max is dropping a barracks. Loredek sees that. And he's like, well, no, I'm just going to wall up. Thank you very much. Going out for this fish. Maxi will know about that because he just walked over there with the villager. And Maxi is up. So we have feudal for Maxi. Loredek kind of away from that. And again, that's probably due to the fact that he had to take the boar very quickly and there was some rotting going on. Also, no deers close to your TC. On this map, actually no deers at all. Oh, no, never mind. There's 3 over here. And 3 over here. I mean, you could maybe push them. They're quite far away, so maybe you push 1. Maybe 2. But it's too much of an aggressive map, I think, to not scout your opponent. Yeah, we do have militia for Maxi. He was trying to go for the fish. Loredek not taking any chances. He's going to wall up. He's up to feudal himself. He's not on gold, so dealing with the militia is going to be, or rather not with the militia, but with the infantry in general is going to be not the easiest thing. Dropping farms before Horse collar, that's... I mean, you do have the resources. Just wait for horse collar and then you drop the farms, I think. Do not get horse collar now. Yeah, build a stable instead. Stable with X. We have a tower for Maxi. Does Loredek see that? I don't think he do. He does. Yeah, he doesn't. And he has no clue about what his opponent is doing at home. Maxi, he's going for a forward range. That's interesting. He still has sheep, so that's fine. Yeah, annoying tower. Yeah, Loredek just changes the woodland he's going to be taking. So Loredek is around 1650, something like that. I mean, it makes sense to go scouts. In this position, you have no access to gold. I mean, you could probably go scouts skirms. And, I mean, you're Slavs, so your farms are going to be amazing. There's another tower from Maxi. Scouts will not be able to deny that, but if you send the vills behind the scouts, you can batter this one down. Yeah, just send the vills. Just send the boys and the girls and you take this one down. It's fine. No, Maxi, you do not build. No, why? Just field fight. I mean, why are people so afraid of will fighting? I mean, yeah, it works out, but we want to see villagers killing each other. I mean, yeah, exactly. The moment you see this one going up, you just send. I mean, it was what, 5 vills building it. You send 10 of your own. It doesn't go up, and your opponent, maybe you lose a vill or 2, but your opponent is going to be behind by 5 because you also have the scouts on the field. So if he tries to run back to his base, you just chase him. This tower is going to go down eventually. And Maxi is behind by 6 vills because he lost most of the forward vills he had. And Laura behind this, 13 farms as Slavs. The vills are idle, but who cares? Honestly, you know you killed the forward vills. Delete the walls, send these 5 vills to kill the tower, and you're fine. Maybe you wall in the barracks and you start taking the gold. And that's it. I would like to see an archer range from Loredek. Not for archers, but for skirmishers. You need an answer to the spears. So Maxi's eco behind this, not the best setup. I mean, his resources collected are similar. I mean, he's switching to farms now. Okay, yeah, it's still fine. But double the idle TC time. And this is amazing from Slavs. 15 farms, his food is just going to fly. Getting a market down. Oh, he's taking this gold, okay. And this wood. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, could even consider maybe walling like this. right? You wall this way and then here to the edge of the map. So this side is closed. And then maybe you wall this side to the edge of the map. So you secure this stone, this gold. And then you just use your superior eco to go up. I mean, you would even have a space for farming. Okay, we have archers for Maxi coming forward. This is why you get downwatch. Ooh, they're going to hit the gold. I think all the pills die here. Yeah, we have fletching in. Oh yeah, all viewers are dead. Ooh. Laura running with the blue line villagers. Go this way, go this way. He's up to castle, at least. And Maxi knows. Now the question is it going this way? No way. No, okay. I mean, you drop a lumber camp here, it's nice. Archers could still range you from there, but yeah. Now the question is, you're up to castle as Slavs, but you have no gold access. So, what's the play? Is that around the stable? No, it's a blacksmith. Okay. Again, I would like to see an archer range from Loredek. I mean, considering it's him, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a longsword siege play. Okay, no, it's going to be knights. Probably not knights. Maybe you sell 100 wood just to get the gold for light cav. You drop a second stable and you capitalize on that farming bonus, and maybe you go for light cav as long as your opponent is not castle age. Because then the moment your opponent is castle age, you have to worry about the camels, which are cheaper for the Byzantines. Okay, yeah, we have a knight. Laura had to sell some food to get the gold needed for the knight and the mangonel. Now, mangonel should be able to take care of this tower. But Laura is going to need ATC on one of the golds just to secure access to it. I would like ATC here. You would have to get rid of the tower and the barracks here, so maybe not. Yeah, watchtowers do not. Yeah, it just died to mangonels. Even if it's Byzantines, you cannot keep it up. Okay, I like how he added the scorpion behind the mangonel. So the mangonel is going to take care of the tower, whereas the scorpion is going to be his answer to the archers. By the way, those archers getting another kill on the wood line. So Maxi just hovering around with the archers, being annoying. He's going to get crossbow, Potkin. Okay, there's 2 mangonels on the field from Loredek, so Maxi is not going to be able to be maybe as annoying as he would like to be with the archers, but... Dude, are you serious? Of all the spots you have to build a TC, you choose this one. I mean, I appreciate it, but I don't think you have enough of an advantage to justify this one. Alright. It's going to get denied. Yeah. I mean, Laura could just send the knight if he wanted to. Many builds on stone for Laura, so maybe he's thinking about the defensive castle. The good old question. Do knights counter pikes? Maybe. Ooh, that's not worth it. Because now you do not have your pike killing unit. I mean, at least the DTC got denied and he got rid of the villagers, right? Wait, did Maxi delete that barracks? Or was it destroyed? Okay, no, it was destroyed, okay. Okay, Laura is going to have enough stone for a castle. And if he builds it... actually, where do you build it? So you cannot build it forward here because there's archers. But you want to have it... somewhere where it can allow you to get gold access. So potentially Laura could build... Yeah, with that amount of stone, I would like to see a TC here, right? So you secure the gold. It's on the wood. You're sure... Yeah, I was about to say, you're sure that even if Maxi sends villagers forward to build the TC, you're going to deny it, but... Yeah, I was just looking for the builds from Maxi to build this one. And the best part is, if it goes this way, he can get it up. It's going to get shot down by the castle, but it will go up. Ooh, we missed this. Okay, TC going up. Many builds died, but there's scorpions, so it's not going to get completely denied. One sec, sorry. Okay, so yeah, the TC went up. This one, yeah, he got denied. Got shot down by the castle. Okay, so now Laura finally has access to gold. He is... oh, eco numbers are still quite similar, despite the fact that Max is has been on 2 TCs for a while now. Okay, so he's making 2 siege workshops, and he's getting elite skirmisher, so... Is this going to be some kind of ram skirmisher push? Okay, no mangonels, okay. $30C from Lore, just dropping farms. Outposts, I like that. He probably figured this guy is insane, let's be sure to have map vision. I would like to see town watch in addition to the outposts, but that still works. And yeah, I agree with biscuits. Lore should probably get ballistics for his scorpions, although I can see why he might want to keep the wood for farming instead. Would it make sense for him to get detonets at this point? It's quite costly. He doesn't really have any other stone axe. I mean, no, okay, he's got this stone in the back. Okay, Maxi is coming forward with the... with his force, which gets shut down by the Boyar and Scorpion combination. Okay, so Loredek is going to stay on Boyars apparently. He's just going to boom behind this, and I would say he has stabilized. He needs to be careful his Scorpions do not get destroyed. Ooh, flattened by the mangonels. Yeah, you can sacrifice Boyar HP as long as you get the mangonel, because now the Scorpions can kill everything. Still single castle for him. Does he know about that stone? Yeah, he does. So eventually he could take that if he wants to. Okay, ballistics for Maxi, so these crossbows will put in the work. Okay, we have a monk to heal the boyars. I like that. Yeah, pikes were on stand ground formation, so they were not. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, that was not ideal. Okay, ballistics still missing for the scorpions, which isn't... Well, I was about to say an issue, but not really. Yeah, and Loredek behind this, just booming away. Maxi... I mean, his eco is still fine, especially when you're going crossbows. Eco numbers, yeah, still better for... Oh, okay, we have Imp from Maxi, and... I mean, last game, his Imp timing didn't make that much sense. But in this situation, 4 TCs, he's Byzantines, so access to very cheap trash units. This makes sense. It's also not as costly as it was in game 1, so... It's easier on his eco. Oh, okay, we have Imperial from Loredek as well. And I'm actually quite surprised. I don't know if I said this before as well, but it's just been in my head for a while now. I'm surprised we're not seeing a longsword siege push from Loredek, because I know he likes to do that with stabs. At the same time though, boyars, they do make sense. As of now they have the same stats of a knight, Granted, they have 2 more attack and 2 more melee armor, but HP wise and pierce armor wise, they're the same, so it doesn't change that much against the skirmishers. They should be dealing a little bit better against the pikes compared to the knights because of the extra attack and armor. Fifth TC from Maxi, so yeah, he's behind Nico, but not by that much, and he's going to be able to catch up because he's 5 TCs against 3. Could even afford Halberdier if you wanted to. Let's see, I saw him get something. Okay, he's getting Arbalester. Yikes, that's a lot of scorpions. Now, I know he likes ranged units, but as Byzantines, a camel switch would have been amazing here. Right, you keep a small force here in the front to make your opponent think you're going full archers. And then you drop stables behind, and you go camels. It's so cheap with the Byzantines. You get to like 30 camels, you clean this, 100%. And it's also, and even if you do not clean this, it's going to be more cost effective for you than it is for your opponent. Yeah, Loredek, he's just doubling down on cavalry. And I say camels instead of halberdiers because you still have to deal with the scorpions. Now, camels, they're not as good as knights in dealing with the scorpions because they have lower pierce armor. And as Byzantines, you also miss bloodlines. But they die more slowly than pikes to the scorpions, and they deal better with the knights. So that's why I would have liked to see camels here. Yeah, we have siege engineers for Maxymczech, so those scorpions, they're going to have +1 range and, well, deal extra bonus damage against buildings. It's actually going to be great for the tribe as well. Maxi, yeah, he doesn't really have an answer to this for the time being. I mean, with his resources, he could easily switch into... Could have switched into heavy camel or halberdier if he wanted to. He's just not doing it. Loredek is closing in on 200 units. 200 population, sorry, and Maxi calling the GG. And Maxymczech takes this to 0. Good game. Good set. Maxi, as always, he delivers on the aggression and the craziness. I think, yeah, in this game what killed him was being so hell-bent on making ranged units. Instead of, you know, trying to go for the cheap Byzantines counters like the camels. Or even the pikes. Granted, by now, with the amount of scorpions your opponent has, pikes are not really an option. Unless you manage to go for something like pike onager. But yeah, focusing too much on the archers is definitely what killed him in the end. Let's take a look at the statistics real quick. So yeah, more military overall for Loredek. More resources collected. I mean, that's also due to the Slavs farming eco bonus. Yeah, I mean, Maxi with ranged units, he did a lot of damage in Feudal and early Castle, where when he was just walking around his opponent's base denying everything. So that was a good play. But in the long run, when you see you're starting to lose field, and that your opponent is focusing so much on Scorpions and Cavalry, you need to make a switch. You cannot stay on archers. Because, yeah, Maxi was doing very well for most of the game. He just kind of fell off later on. And that's a shame, because I think otherwise he could have probably won this. Anyway, I think that's going to be everything for today. Thank you anyone who joined. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I definitely did, especially the first set, the play by N.O.P.E on Lagoon Forest, and this set, Maxi's craziness. They were definitely entertaining. I'm going to see you next time, which I still don't know when it's going to be, but probably next week. So once again, thank you for being here, for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.